Ми військовослужбовці підрозділу Прайм 5-го прикордонного загону. Зараз знаходимося на Сумщині та стримуємо наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Car for Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Changus та Канті Людан і їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
I wonder how hard my name is for the Ukrainian soldiers over on the 5th Border Guard for me to pronounce, not being that there's probably an exact translation for Renegade Chungus in Ukrainian. Although there might be. I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear what my name is in Ukrainian. Hi, guys. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another live stream. I'm back. Had a lot going on. You know, it's still back to school. Trying to get that all sorted out. Had a little downtime with Mercado on Mercado Gaming. Played some Battlefield the other day. That was really cool. But I feel like I need to get back in the rhythm of doing the news streams, live streams, and also today we will be doing something a little extra with a raffle. Got a small raffle prize. It's actually very cool. We'll pull it over real quick. We're going to raffle off this 3D print tonight for donations. That was made by at Mini Medic Paints fella, 3D printed. This is an emblem of the 5th Border Guard. 5th Border Guard, the prime unit that we are fundraising for, is a 3D printout. We're going to do a little raffle stream. Tickets are $5 entries to the fundraiser for the Car for Ukraine fundraiser that is pinned in the top of the description. So basically all you got to do is make a donation, page put on the bottom in the comments when you do that this is for the raffle prize today, and then I will pull up the site when it loads so we can see who has tickets, and then we'll do a raffle at the end of the stream for the winner. Hello, Claire for Ukraine. Claire in the house, guys. Claire from Car for Ukraine is in the chat, guys. Good to see you here. We're gonna cover a bunch of stuff, but one thing I wanted to primary focus on is what's going on over in Texas, and the repercussions it's having in California, my state, and also the cascade effect it may have on the rest of the nation with redistricting and gerrymandering. And we're gonna learn together, guys. I'm not an expert on this. I'm not an expert, but we're gonna learn together. We're going to learn. Cool raffle patch? Yeah, it's a little emblem. It's 3D printed emblem. I have it right here. Perfect for a little wall decoration, like you see behind me here. I've got my wall full. This would make a great little piece for you guys, especially if we're fundraising for the 5th Border Guard. So very, very cool 3D printed emblem. So basically what we'll do is we'll raffle, and then of course on the Discord, we don't need to use the Discord. If you choose to, I'll go through it later and we'll take a peek. But if I'll just go off the site, and if you win, I'll let you know to private message me on Discord so I can get your information to send it to you, and we'll do it that way. Pyro, how you doing, Pyro? Mitch in the house, Nura. How we doing? It doesn't have a Velcro patch, but that would be really cool too. It's a hard piece, so it's not an actual patch. It's a hard synthetic. Pretty cool. But it's good for a little wall mount, like I got right back here, if you notice. 151st, 14th. Mechanized. But yeah, I'll ship it out to you guys if you win, if you donate tonight into the fundraiser, and we'll go from there. And also, I heard that I might have to, at some point, do the Macarena if we hit 5,000 euros. Which I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. I'll do the Macarena for you guys if we can donate. I got to learn the Macarena. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm not in the Macarena mood tonight, but I will be doing the Macarena. For the right price, I'll do it in some Daisy Dukes. Just saying. For the right price. But I'm not a cheap date. Okay? You guys want to see the Macarena and Daisy Dukes? It's going to cost you. But we'll do what we can to fundraise, right? That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Let's get into the topic. We got some stuff going on. Some stuff going on, guys. Gerrymandering. I guess we should start in Texas. We should probably start with Texas. So what's going on is Texas House Republicans are unveiling new congressional maps that look to pick up 5 GOP seats. So they're going to try to redistrict before the midterms because they know they're going to lose. Just because of all the terrible stuff that's going on from this current administration. The first draft of the lower chamber's new redistricting map targets Democratic members of Congress in the Austin, Dallas, and Houston metro areas and in South Texas. So we'll get a little bit into that, what's going on. Basically, Texas GOP lawmakers released their first draft of the state's new congressional map Wednesday, proposing revamped district lines that attempt to flip 5 Democratic seats in next year's midterms election. So they're trying to cheat. They're trying to cheat. They're going to try to cheat us. But California's kind of stepping up. Gavin Newsom's fighting right back with this. He's saying he's going to redraw the district lines. They're going to do a special election for it. And what it sounds like is this might actually be happening. I know a lot of people say it's going to go to court. There'll be lawsuits flying. But what I'm looking at, we'll go through it together. Actually, I probably got, there's a numerous of lawsuit cases back and forth with gerrymandering, dating back. The most, like, big ones were, like, 1993, Shaw versus Reno, 1995, Cooper versus Harris, and so on. Most of the gerrymandering that was found unconstitutional was due to racial impacts or racially motivated. That was found unconstitutional. As far as partisan lines being drawn, that has not. There's actually a case that went through where it was permitted due to partisan activities. So there's different ways this could go through when the lawsuits inevitably do come and it goes to court, because the federal court might not take it. It might have to go to the state courts and the state constitutions. So there's a lot to it. And it does sound like there will be redistricting. I think there will be. So it's going to get a little crazy. We'll get into that. Let's peek into the current fundraiser. Summertime. Right here. Summer Sunshine Renegade Chungus Canty Luden campaign. We are at 4,851 euros. Out of 11,100 donations flat. 5th Border Guard Prime Unit. They need a van. That's what we're trying to do. It's taking a little longer than I wanted, but, you know, I've been away. Just trying to, you know, get all my stuff together. I've been just really busy, guys. I've been really busy, kind of tired. Then I hurt myself, which sucked. But I'm back. Yeah, they behave just like servants to the people, sure. Last donation was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Daddy Jim. Looks like he's trying to get Canty Luden to do the YMCA. So if we could, let's hit it out tonight a little bit. If you guys could donate tonight, that'd be great. Every $5 will buy you a ticket into the raffle prize. All right, let's bring over some articles. Now we know where we're at. Actually, let's go right into the TikTok feed. We're going to hear what the politicians and the beef is back and forth, and we'll read a little bit and get to learn a little bit about it. Then we'll go skibbity. We'll go a little skibbity on some TikTok feed. I haven't done a TikTok feed in a while. There's some good stuff out there right now, so let me try to organize a little better, though. That's the goal today. How's everybody doing? Long time no see. If you guys saw, I was with Ricardo the other day on my gaming channel, which is cool. I got like a 10th of my watch hours done in one stream with the new Battlefield, which is amazing, by the way. Also, guys, if you haven't, here, I'm just going to pin it or put it in there. I'm going to plug my gaming channel. That's my gaming channel. If you guys could sub to it, it'd be great. I really would appreciate it. Let me see. Let me see what I find. Oh, is it on this one? No. I have so many windows open right now. It's crazy. I was busy gathering info after work today. It's been kind of a long week. It's been a really long week. I'll just open a new one. Hey, Katie. Send me... Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, California air. We'll talk about California air here, too. I had more fires. Renegade Chungus, send me some of the Cali smog air. Might be easier to chew than this crap. Okay, so my air here is clean except for fire season. Fire season is terrible here. And we just had 2 more fires after the one that I live streamed the other day. In one almost in the exact same area, northwest of it, and then another one in the town of Lucerne where structures were impacted. It's a very impoverished area, and there was like I was listening to the scanner. There was reports of people in the evacuation zone, 7 teenagers alone, or 5 teenagers alone with 7 dogs needing to evacuate. So it started getting really scary. Fortunately, the firefighters and people around the community jumped into the effort to put the fire out. It did turn out to be about the same size as the other one. Structures did burn, but the loss was minimal. So there was 2 spot fires after that, and it was right off the highway. So I think there might be a fire bug. I almost heard that the FBI was involved. Don't quote me on that though. But it sounded like there might be a fire bug in the area, which is terrible. Which happens. It's happened before. One of the largest fires we had here was from an ex-firefighter. So yeah, there's that happening. Good old California. Fire season is not fun in the Northwest Frontier Province. It's not fun in my area. I know that. We had the Mendocino Complex was right above me. And this fire looked like it was going to go into it, but fortunately it stopped before it did. All right, let me cut the music. We're going to listen to some clips and kind of get a better idea of what's going on. We're just going to go through some TikTok feeds and listen to these guys.
In America, we need to wake up. Republicans are stealing our democracy right before our very eyes.
The Republican governor of Texas giving Democrats who have left the state a warning: show up at the Capitol by this afternoon or face removal from office. So aboard that plane you're looking at right there, dozens of Democrats from the state legislature flying out of Texas to block the Republican-led effort backed by President Trump to redraw the Texas congressional map. The plan could potentially eliminate 5 Democratic seats in the U.S. House ahead of the 2026 midterms. Many of those Texas Democrats have traveled to Illinois, denying the state House the minimum number of members needed to advance the redistricting plan.
We come here today with absolute moral clarity. This is absolutely the right thing to do to protect the people of the state of Texas.
So basically, they fled to Texas so they couldn't be forced into voting a bunch of the Democrat seats. So they couldn't do a vote on it and pissed a bunch of people off, made a bunch of people happy, and we've got more interviews from a lot of them.
Governor Abbott says if those Democrats are not back by 3 p.m. Central Time today, he will vacate their offices. But the authority he's claiming to do that comes from a non-binding legal opinion issued by the state attorney general, Ken Paxton, after the last time Democrats did something like this in 2021. Paxton, who was running for Senate, has called for the Democrats who have left to be arrested.
Yeah, they're calling for the arrest of the Democrats over there in Texas right now, which probably is not going to happen, but crazy talk.
Republicans are trying to steal House seats by redrawing congressional maps.
We're going to go on the next one here. This one is so quiet.
Hosting a half dozen Lone Star State lawmakers in Sacramento. Those lawmakers leaving their home turf to prevent a vote on a Republican-led redistricting plan.
ABC 7 News reporter Luz Pena joins us live with the latest twist in this redistricting battle. Luz.
Yes, Emma, it's come down to this. California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling for a special election to approve a one-time redrawing of California's congressional districts. This could lead to 5 House seats ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The redistricting battle in Texas is officially leading California to take action.
With the leadership behind me, they will get this on the ballot. We're calling for a special.
We're going to go to a different feed because this one is very quiet.
Governor Gavin Newsom announcing that maps will also be redrawn in California if voters...
This feed's too quiet. We'll go to the next one.
Texas lawmakers convened for a special session today to address some of the state's most pressing issues, including the response to the deadly July 4th floods. But one agenda item was added at the request of President Trump, pushing the Republican-controlled legislature to redraw congressional district lines in their favor ahead of the 2026 midterms. Beto O'Rourke is a former congressman from El Paso. That's one of the seats the president wants to flip. Welcome back to the NewsHour.
Thanks for having me.
So the Texas legislature, or Texas lawmakers rather, have 38 seats in the House. Republicans already have 25. This redrawing could potentially add 5 to their tally. Are you worried all of this is going to make it easier for Republicans to control the House?
So basically, this also makes it harder for districts with minorities by reducing their political voice and violating protections like the Voting Rights Act. So it's going after. It will definitely hurt the smaller demographics in their areas.
This is the only reason that they're doing it. The president is very open about this. Our senior senator, John Cornyn, is very open about this.
Yeah, he's out of line, but we knew this. Like we all knew there was going to be, they would find a way to do this, right? We saw this coming. We didn't know exactly what it was. I knew that they were going to find a way to cheat the midterms, and this is what they're trying to do.
And for those who haven't been following, redistricting is a process by which current members of Congress get to choose their own voters. And they're doing this, and the president's made it such a priority because he sees the polling numbers. Immigration,
hey, Steve.
Which if there was a policy issue he won on in 24, is polling at 35% for the president. He's underwater in his favorables. Folks don't like the direction this country's headed in, and so he knows he will lose the slim majority they have in the House of Representatives unless they rig the game mid-decade, which is what they're trying to do in Texas. But Democrats have an opportunity to fight back in Texas. The state House Democrats could walk out and deny their colleagues a quorum. We have governors like Gavin Newsom who have threatened to redistrict in Democrats' favor in their states, which I'm in favor of. And then it makes...
So the problem also with this is federal courts may be limited in addressing the partisan gerrymandering. Due to, there's certain rulings out there. There's one, it's Rucho versus Common Cause 2019. It was classified as a political matter and not a judicial matter. So that's why I think this is actually going to happen.
Come back to bite these Republicans because in order to create more competitive districts that they can win, they're going to have to lose some Republican voters in current Republican strongholds. So there may be an opportunity for Democrats, but any one or all 3 of those paths of resistance have to be pursued by Democrats. We have to fight back, and we have to fight fire with fire.
You've mentioned this before, fighting fire with fire, saying Democrats have to be ruthless. Texas isn't the only state where Republicans have a governing trifecta, and they're doing this mid-decade redistricting. You mentioned Gavin Newsom's effort. Why don't you think more Democrats, where they have governing trifectas in other states, why aren't they doing this?
I think historically, and I say this as a lifelong Democrat, our party has been more interested in being right than being in power. I think the Republican Party under Donald Trump cares more about being in power than they care about anything else, whether it's right or ethical or legal or constitutional. We have to be ruthlessly focused about winning, holding on to power, and then using that power to fix a badly broken system that is not working for tens of millions of our fellow Americans. If we do not do that, not only will we not win political power, we might very well lose this country.
So you want to see Democrats do more gerrymandering, is what you're saying?
Fight back with everything we have, nothing off the table.
I want to ask
the concern with this also is if mid-decade restricting becomes normalized, it's going to be an unpredictable sort of disruption in the system. So then that could trigger kind of like a cascade effect of all states doing redistricting, which we don't know what impact that will have.
about what James Carville wrote in his op-ed about the Democratic Party right now, looking at some of those divisions. He wrote, the Democratic Party is steamrolling toward a civilized civil war. It's necessary to have it. It's even more necessary to delay it. The only thing that can save us now is an actual savior, because a new party can be delivered only by a person. Do you agree with that it's going to take a singular figure to lead Democrats out of this disarray?
No, it's going to take all of us. There's no cavalry, there's no savior who is going to ride to our rescue. It has to be the people of this country. And my advice for my fellow Democrats is we certainly have told the American people what we're against. We don't like Donald Trump, this big, beautiful bill that transferred nearly $1 trillion of our wealth to the wealthiest 1% in this country. Folks get that, but what is our vision for the future? How about we imagine an America where your take-home pay is enough to live on, so you don't work a second or a third job. You're guaranteed the ability to see a doctor when you're sick, before you're sick, so that you don't get sick. You have access to fresh and healthy food and clean drinking water. If you work hard, you can afford a home, because too many people are working too hard right now and cannot buy a home. If we don't help people get what they need from a government of the many, then soon enough they're going to be open to getting what they need from a government of the few, or a government even of only one. And then one more thing. We have to, especially when it comes to our standing in the world, really stand up for what we care about, like human rights.
Did anybody see the map of the Texas redistricting? Is the most ridiculous shape to create a single Democratic district. Believe I have. Yeah, I got a picture of it right here. Here's the map of the redistricting. Everybody cool with that? How's that look? Does that look fair? Does that look like everybody has a voice? Something's afoot.
Right. So in Gaza, we can't be saying that we're for a two-state solution or offer mealy-mouthed platitudes. We have to stop being complicit in the bombing and the starving and the slaughtering of innocent children in Gaza, and use the awesome power of this country to convene the nations of that region and of the planet, if that's what it takes, to establish an independent, sovereign Palestinian state, and do what we can to guarantee the safety of every Palestinian, every Israeli, every person in that region. People want to see us boldly stand up for the things that we really care about and the things that really matter.
Congressman, this is not the unified message we've been getting from members of the party.
Quick question about the raffle. Sorry to be this, but how do I go in the raffle? Basically, all you got to do is make a donation to my current fundraiser that's pinned in the top of the description. And then whatever amount is given, every $5 will buy you a ticket. Your name will go on a spreadsheet at the end, and it'll have a number next to it. Then I will spin a raffle wheel, and then whoever is on the on the number that it lands on wins the prize. But you just got to leave a comment inside of the fundraiser that for tonight's raffle, for Chunks' raffle tonight or something like that.
Divisions on this issue, on many others. As
I'll pull it off of the donor box on the bottom.
Travel around, you hold these town halls. Where do you see the divisions within the Democratic base? Is it generational? Is it ideological? Where are those lines?
I think there's been a lot of ink spilled about whether Democrats need to be more progressive or more moderate. I think that's the wrong spectrum to look at. I think what people want is a Democratic Party that will fight. And so the division is between those who submit and give in and bend the knee, and those who are willing to fight back with all that they've got. Everywhere I go, it doesn't matter if it's in Texas or we were in Baltimore last night, we'll be in Omaha, Nebraska soon. Folks want to see us fight. They want to see us fight for our fellow Americans, fight back against everything that is illegal and corrupt and incompetent in this administration, and fight to win power and then use it to deliver for the American people.
Do you think your leadership is bending the knee right now?
I think Chuck Schumer, in the continuing resolution which funded the government, gave Donald Trump and at the time and Elon Musk a blank check to do what they wanted with and to this country. There was no reason to do that. Hakeem Jeffries and the House Democrats stood strong. I think it's time that we thank leaders who have done great work like Chuck Schumer, and then ask new ones to step up and make sure that we have a party that fights for every single one of us and fights until we win.
Do you think it's...
So yeah, the fight's on. Quorum breaking is going to happen. Retaliatory state actions are going to happen. Heightened polarization is already happening. So it's time to put the gloves on, pretty much. Hence the thumbnail, put the gloves on.
Time for Schumer to lead leadership.
I do. I think if we learn nothing else from 2024, the old idea that Democrats need to care more about each other's feelings and seniority
But this isn't just Democrats saying that they got to fight back. There's Republicans coming out and saying this is screwed up. And as a lifelong Republican, we have to side with the Democrats on this one.
Ensure that no one is denied the opportunity for leadership that they've been waiting for. That has not worked for us. We need to deliver, and we need to be absolutely clear about that. And if he's not getting that done, time to get out of the way and for someone else to step up and lead.
So I need to ask you, what about your role in the party? Because you're a former city council member from El Paso. You went on to win a congressional seat. You grew your support, we should say, in races in 2014 and 16, but you haven't won a race since 16. You lost your Senate bid, you lost your Democratic presidential primary bid, you lost your governor's bid.
Thank you, Claire.
What's your role? Would you run for office again?
Here's the thing, like millions of my fellow Americans, I don't need a title. I don't need to be part of a campaign. I just need to do what I can with what I have, where I am, to help this country. So in Texas, with Powered by People, we're registering voters, and because it's the toughest state in the nation in which to cast a ballot, we then personally help those voters cast those ballots. 18 to 29-year-olds in Texas voted at 79% in our program. Nationally, it is 42%. This stuff is working. And these town halls where we convene people, Republicans, independents, Democrats, it brings people together to listen to one another, not to a candidate and not to a politician and not to a political party, but to one another. We're so divided and polarized and isolated right now. That in itself is really powerful. So
you're going to hear gerrymandering a lot. For everybody to understand, gerrymandering, the definition is manipulate the boundaries of an electoral constituency so as to favor one party or class.
I'm going to continue to get out there, do the work, listen to my fellow Americans, and then fight right alongside them to save this country.
Have you ruled out another run for office?
I haven't ruled it out. Everything's on the table, whatever we need to do to get this country back.
Former Democratic Congressman from Texas, Beto O'Rourke, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Pretty interesting clip there. I hear Beto O'Rourke come out and kind of break it down for everybody. We'll go on to the next feed.
Listen, number one, I think it's a good thing that the Texas
Okay, so here's a little bit from the other side.
legislature is moving forward with redistricting. As you noted, the map they put out is designed to elect an additional 5 Republicans to Congress. That could
They're not even hiding the fact of what they're trying to do. There's no other way to put it. This is what Trump wants. He wants to win the midterms, and he's getting desperate, so they're going to find a way to cheat the system.
That'll be the difference between maintaining a Republican majority in the House for the next 4 years or not. And if you look
See,
at
they already know they're going to lose. So this is him saying, yeah, this is what we're doing. And he's saying, hey, we're going to lose it. They already know they're going to lose the House.
all the incredible victories we've won in the last 6 months, whether securing the border and an historic investment into building the wall and securing the border, or the biggest tax cut of our lifetimes, all of that happened because we have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican president. And so I'm grateful for anything that increases the chances of good policies, low taxes, low regulations that produce jobs and prosperity and abundance.
Produce jobs? We're down like 75,000 jobs this last quarter because of the Trump administration. Produce jobs?
Let me say, secondly, what the Texas legislature did is produced a map that better reflects the values of Texas. Texas is a conservative state. It makes sense that we elect a congressional delegation that reflects those values. And I got to say, when it comes to gerrymandering, I'm in particular amused at the Democrats who are clutching their pearls, because the Democrats have always been much, much more ruthless in gerrymandering. I'll give you an example. The state of Massachusetts. About 35% of Massachusetts votes Republican. About 60 to 65% votes Democrat. Do you know what percent of Massachusetts congressional delegation is Republican?
I believe it's 0. Yeah.
They drew it,
We
so
also
not a
saw the
single
redistricting.
Republican is elected.
We also saw the redistricting of Barney Frank's seat in Massachusetts, and he found himself in a position where he couldn't even win re-election in his own district. So a lot of people wonder, Congressman, if this is in fact a good thing, especially if California follows Texas and Gavin Newsom tries to rewrite the California map. Doesn't this turn into a spiral? Where does it lead?
Well, but it already has. Look, California, the overwhelming majority of the seats are Democrats as well. They've drawn those districts there that it elects just a handful of Republicans from California. I mean, that's part of the irony. These Democrats going, oh, this is terrible, while they're doing it egregiously. They want Republicans to draw maps that elect a bunch of Democrats.
How are they doing egregiously? Where? How? In California, we have a system in place to where we do it at a specific time. There's no egregiousness behind this. It's what the people want. Now they're just trying to rig the system.
Then the Democrats draw a map that elect a bunch of Democrats, and that doesn't make any sense. Look, this map is designed. Texas should have a congressional delegation that represents our values. The beauty of drawing lines is I'm elected statewide. I'm quite confident my lines aren't going to change. They're not going to move the Red River, and so I'm proud to represent all 31 million Texans.
Yuck. He doesn't represent all 31 million Texans. He represents the one he likes. The ones he like only. 20 euros from Steve. Thank you, Steve. I'll throw you guys into the fundraiser as soon as it populates on the website. We'll keep going on that. Thank you, thank you. We'll do the raffle at the end of the stream, so stay tuned.
So let me be clear. I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice.
So now also there's people that are going to these town halls, and the people of Texas are not happy with this. I got a lot of clips of it too.
This is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit. Okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York. So he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's going.
So basically, they're pushing back, saying that they're going to be arrested for fleeing on the vote. Yeah, right.
Come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors, and I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I will also say this: I was on the redistricting committee. I sat in on the meetings. We had 3 sham hearings with no maps, where people were forced to testify that they were neutral on the maps because of our processes, when actually, I would say about 99.9% of the people were against it. So they set it up. So when the litigation happens, because it's going to happen, trust and believe, right? That there will be testimony saying that everybody was neutral on it, which is, excuse my French, a damn lie. Then, when they got the map on Wednesday, and let me be clear, it was the worst kept secret in Texas. I was on the redistricting committee, and I was wondering in January, why am I on the redistricting committee? I mean, it ain't a redistricting year. And we didn't meet once, right? But this was always the backup plan.
David N. with 3 tickets. Thank you very much.
Always. I sat in on the hearings. It was a joke. So you peeing on me, and you telling me it's raining, and you expect me to believe it. Wrong answer. When they finally had the one public hearing with the map, and the secret was out. The stuff is going to get filed on Wednesday, and we're going to have a marathon hearing on Friday, is what they said. The plan was filed on Wednesday, and they had a 10-hour meeting on Friday. And the thing that was the most offensive to me as a person who went to these and asked questions about these, and let me be clear, the districts that are targeted overwhelmingly are black districts, okay? They are pitting Jasmine Crockett against Mark Vesey, and they are pitting Al Green against CD18, where there's a black representative. So those are the people they're trying to take out. So I'm real upset about it, and my constituents are real upset about it. But it's really interesting that the map person who says that some law firm drafted the maps and he don't know that much about the maps, I felt like I was in a bad edition of an episode of White Man's Burden.
So they might have some legal grounds there as well if they can prove the fact that it is a racial gerrymandering, because racial gerrymandering has been found unconstitutional by the Supreme Court repeatedly, drawing the lines primarily due to dilute the power of a racial or ethnic group violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. So they might have, even if this goes to court, they might have a solid enough case to where they win in courts. There was a few cases. Shaw versus Reno was a big one, 1993. Key case, districts drawn with the race as the predominant factor without compelling justification were struck down. Later cases, Miller versus Johnson, 1995, and Cooper versus Harris in 2017 reinforced this. So as far as, like I said, as far as partisan gerrymandering goes, it has not been declared unconstitutional by the federal courts. It's incompatible, or it is definitely incompatible with democratic principles. However, if it's just for partisan issues, if they can say it's a partisan issue, the federal courts won't decide on it. It'll go to the state. It'll go to the state constitution. So that's why I think they have a very good chance of this actually happening. So we'll have to see what happens. But let's keep going here.
The fight over Texas redistricting now has profound national implications. First of all, it's about the midterm elections next year. Right now, Democrats need a net gain of 3 seats to take back the House. If Republicans can somehow get another 5 seats out of Texas, that goes up to 8 seats. So why did this story go national? First, the Democratic legislators in Texas had to leave the state in order to stop business in the legislature because Republicans were trying to push these new maps through in an emergency session. Second, some Democratic states, the big powerhouses like California and New York, vowed that they were going to hit back and try to counter Texas's move by finding more Democratic seats in the House in their states. So why is this such a big deal? Because states have been gerrymandering districts for generations. Normally what happens is that states redistrict after the census every 10 years. But on the orders of President Trump, Texas is doing this mid-cycle after only 4 years. If all the states suddenly react, we'll have a massive free-for-all, it will cause chaos, and it will polarize the House of Representatives even more than it already is.
So I don't think anybody has an idea how it's going to look if every state ends up doing redistricting halfway through the cycle. I don't think anybody. Maybe someone has. Maybe there's a think tank or an institution that's already done a survey on it and figured it out. I don't know. I don't know how it will swing, but it will cause complete chaos. And already you have Congress people speaking out. Let's say it could lead to some violence, which no one is wanting, no one is hoping for. But it could raise tensions to that level, and there's people that are already concerned about it that are in Congress.
Even more lawmakers will have safe seats. That will give them even less incentive to listen to the voters and to find common ground with the other party. Texas Democrats will probably have to cave eventually because after all, they can't stay out of Texas forever. But in some ways, by making this a national fight and showing their voters they're willing to stand up to Trump, Democrats could win by losing. And several 2028 presidential campaigners have jumped into the battle. The fight over...
So the people he's talking about is Gavin Newsom, and we'll get into some of his clips. Man, my governor is fired up on this. He is a bit of a showman, and I know I haven't seen eye to eye with him on this, but what are you going to do?
Texas Republicans have issued a warrant for my arrest for breaking quorum with my House Democratic colleagues to stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Governor Abbott has even threatened to vacate my seat, to remove me from my
James Tallarico.
democratically elected position as a Texas state representative. Yesterday, Trump asked his FBI director, Kash Patel, to send in federal agents to come find us. And Ken Paxton put up a tweet asking his followers to, quote, hunt us down. My colleagues and I are here in Illinois at what we thought was a safe location, but this morning, a bomb threat was called into our hotel. My colleagues and I are safe, and we have one message. We will not be deterred, because this is bigger than us. This is bigger than any one politician or any one political party. This is about whether the people, Democrats, Independents, and Republicans...
When are we going to change the name of the United States to the People's Republic of America? We're not far off.
...can change their government from the bottom up, whether they can elect the candidates of their choice, whether they can hold powerful people accountable. Let me explain. Usually state legislators adjust district boundaries at the beginning of every decade to account for population changes after a new census. That's called redistricting. And my Texas Republican colleagues already did that in 2021. But now Trump is asking them to redraw the Texas maps in the middle of the decade because he wants 5 more seats, because he's worried about losing his majority in Congress in the 2026 midterms, because he's wrecking the economy, starting wars, and protecting pedophiles, because he's kicking millions of people off their health care to fund tax breaks for his billionaire friends. So he's trying to shield himself from the voters. He's trying to shield himself from accountability. But to pass these new maps, a certain number of legislators have to be on the floor of the Texas House to conduct business. That's called a quorum. My Democratic colleagues and I are not going to give them one. By attempting to redistrict in the middle of the decade, Republicans are cheating. It's like two football teams coming out of the locker room at halftime, and the team that's ahead says they want to change the rules in the second half to win the game. It's cheating, plain and simple. And if they're going to cheat, we're not going to play. We may not be in Texas, but we are fighting for our constituents. We are fighting for free and fair elections in every community. Because when politicians draw their own lines, when they draw our districts into these crazy shapes, when they crack and pack communities of color, it's called gerrymandering. It's basically politicians manufacturing the outcome they want. It's politicians insulating themselves from the will of the public. Politicians shouldn't choose their voters. Voters should choose their politicians.
So basically, they're building a wall within a wall around Texas. Walls within walls within walls, fences.
Both political parties gerrymander. Democrats in blue states, Republicans in red states, but not this brazenly, not this discriminatory, and not in the middle of the decade in an effort to rig the upcoming election at the direct request of the President of the United States. This is not an issue of party, it's an issue of power. People in power want to stay in power, and that's what the Republican Party is doing right now. And they are led by a president who has shown a complete disdain for the peaceful transfer of power. The future of our republic is on the line. Greg Abbott claims that we've abandoned our responsibilities, but we're doing exactly what we were elected to do. I didn't swear an oath to Donald Trump. I swore an oath to the Constitution. So we'll stay out of Texas until this corrupt special session ends. We'll be here in the land of Lincoln, which is appropriate because Abraham Lincoln broke quorum as a state senator back in 1840 by jumping out of the window of the Illinois state capitol. Thankfully, I didn't have to jump out of any windows back in Texas. We're participating in a long American tradition of standing up to bullies, of speaking truth to power, of civil disobedience, of good trouble. I'll keep you updated.
Good trouble coming from Jane Salarico.
Next guest on Morning in America has been outspoken about her party's unity throughout this redistricting battle. So here with us now is Texas Democratic State Representative Ann Johnson, whose district includes Houston. I understand you want to be called Rep. Ann. So good morning, Rep. Ann.
Good morning. You can call me whatever you want.
Okay.
But
so where are you and why aren't you in Texas this morning?
You know, I didn't take this lightly. The decision.
I don't remember that story of Abe Lincoln. I don't think they taught that in school, at least in my school.
It's an extraordinary and it's an exceptional act, but it is rooted in the Texas Constitution. All of the bluster about lawsuits or vacancies and all those things that the Republicans are trying to do to harass and to threaten and to effectively force us to, respond to it as a means of spending money and everything else. It is rooted in the Constitution that a quorum break is fundamentally there as a tool for the minority party when they know that the majority party has gone off the rails. And that's what's happened here. I will say I'm one of the Democrats that is known for working across the aisle. I mean, my colleagues would expect a number of my Democratic friends to break quorum, but all of us doing it, more than 50 of us doing it, they should take a pause and say, wow, they all are stepping up, breaking quorum, incurring the wrath of what they're doing because they're trying to steal 5 seats.
Well, Rep. Ann, I mean, are you concerned about the optics of this? Our reporter Joe Khalil just outlined, that there needs to be funding that heads to the folks who have been devastated by the Texas flooding, and not taking a vote on that could impact them getting back on their feet.
That's not accurate. And so anybody that is saying that doesn't understand Texas. We are a part-time legislature. The governor has the ability to write a check right now. He does not need us to do this. He didn't need us to do it for the wildfires. So him tagging flooding to this should be a red alarm to those folks in Texas to recognize that he is using the victims of the flood as political cover to try to steal 5 seats for Trump. I'm on that flood committee. We have heard the testimony. I was there for 2 weeks. They didn't offer one bill except redistricting. For 2 weeks, that's the only thing they offered to work on. When they issued our arrest warrants, they issued the arrest warrants for one bill, redistricting. That's it. And
Well,
so,
it seems like these flood victims need to have money to get back on their feet. And what I'm reading here is that you're part of a group of Texas Democrats anyway. Maybe it is you, maybe it isn't, that's pleading for donations to try to hold out this walkout, not for just hours or days, but potentially weeks or even months. And gerrymandering is something that both sides do. This debate has really gone national, as you know, too. In fact, California Governor Gavin Newsom speaking on Friday at a press conference about the broader implications of this issue as a whole. So take a listen to this.
He called Greg Abbott, who doesn't have the courage, doesn't have the backbone, doesn't have the consciousness of the consequences of his action. And he has rolled over and he said, yes, sir, and they will lose in the midterms. He knows it. Why else would he make that phone call?
Look, both sides do gerrymandering.
I've never been happier with Gavin Newsom right now, to tell you the truth, and I'm no fan of him, but I'm pretty happy with it.
So, I mean,
Mercado raid. Oh, hey, thank you, Mercado. Thank you, Andrew.
well, no, let's talk about hypocritical. We don't both do it. In fact, we have a number
Shout
of
out to the hot dog man. Hot dog man's in the chat, guys.
An
Hold on. We're gonna pause this. Hot dog man's in the chat. We got him right here. We got Merc right here. Oh, that was one too many. Boom. There's your hot dog man. Hot dogs at the map. We're in the chat. All right, let's keep going.
drawing their lines.
We're learning, guys, if you're just tuning in, we're learning about gerrymandering and the redistricting right now in Texas and the pushback from Gavin Newsom in California, which I am not a big fan of, but I am standing with my governor on this at this point.
Have offered legislation in Texas for an independent commission to have the
Hey,
people
Michelle.
draw the lines and not me. I can't even get
Anyway.
a hearing on that. When Congress passed
Burt gang in the
permission
house.
to do independent commissions nationwide, every Democrat voted for it and not a single Republican did. It is important to remember that Republicans already redrew their lines just a few years ago to heavily weigh their ability to win in Texas. But in the face of terrible policies that defund education, cut millions from healthcare.
Hey, Mark, thank you.
An economy with
Hey, guys, since you're just popping in, we're going to cover the fundraiser also and the raffle prize I got going on right now. So I'll blow it up a little bit. So right here, I've actually got it right here in front of me. So right here, I've got pinned in the chat the Car for Ukraine fundraiser, right? Here's the little 3D printout of the 5th Brigade and the prime unit that we're fundraising for. So here's the deal. $5 will buy you a ticket to the pin fundraiser. You throw $5 into it and then comment that this is for tonight's raffle. At the end of tonight, we will be drawing a name from one of the tickets purchased and spinning a wheel to see who won it. Then get a hold of me on Discord with your address and I will mail it to you. It is a really cool little emblem made. I'm going to share, I'll reshare the video since we just got raided. I'll reshare the video that was sent to my community, our community, for the van that they need. Let me see if I can cut that real quick. This is for the 5th Border Guard Prime Unit. They need a van. They're in the Sumi region. They're fighting their asses off right now. And basically what we're going to do is try to help them. Let me see if I can find the clip right here. All right, here's the video that was sent.
Ми військовослужбовці підрозділу Прайм 5-го прикордонного загону. Зараз знаходимось на Сумщині та стримуємо наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Car for Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою, доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Changus та Канті Людан.
It just beats me up every time I hear him try to say my name. I know he was like, oh God, how do I say this?
І їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
But the guys, they sent us an awesome video. Prime Unit 5th Border Guard. I'll just show you where we're at to get you recapped a little bit on where we're at right now on the fundraiser. We are at 4,985 euros. We're actually 15 euros away from me having to do the Macarena on stream. Yes, me and Canty Luden both. We have to do the Macarena on stream when we hit 5,000 euros. So right down here, I'll show you examples. I know people have already put in for the raffle today. We're right down here. We've got 20 euros from Steve. David threw in, that's enough for 3 tickets, 16 USD. Thank you. Claire's going in hot. She wants that. She's throwing 100 euros, guys. So competition's on for the fundraiser. So each one of these $5 out of the donations right here will buy you a ticket. I'll throw it on a graph at the end, and we will do a raffle at the end of the stream. So that's how we're going to do that. And I'll just keep updating the post. At the end, I'll give it a little time in case you put one in at the end when we do the raffle prize. And we'll go from there. But we are very close to 5,000. Our goal is 11,000, guys. And look, it's been a little bit of a struggle for me on this one just because I haven't been here. It's summertime. I got to go play with my kids. We had to go vacationing. I ended up hurting my back, so I've been out of the loop a little bit as far as streaming's going. But I'm back. Back to school's almost here. I'm gonna have a little more free time to hit it out a little more, and then I'm gonna, after this is complete, I'm gonna take a little break just for like a week or two to gain my senses, and then we're gonna hit another fundraiser. We're gonna probably transition to my buddy Rowan and Paige, also 2 separate ones, and then we will be doing a face reveal and a stream on Rowan. He's given me permission to share his face. He is not concerned about it, and we've got a bunch of cool footage. Shout out to Blonde Bombsheller, who has been super supportive of him in the background. We got him hooked up with some shit. Thank you, BB. I know you're not here right now, BB, but thank you very much for that. And we'll talk more about that later. But I will be taking a little break after this one. But we got to complete this one, guys. We have to. I'm not going to take a huge break. I just need a little time. It's a lot of work putting these fundraisers together, and it's a lot of stress too. But we'll get there. All right, back to it. We're learning about gerrymandering and what's going on, guys. It's super important stuff. And like I said, I think this is actually going to go through with the gerrymandering. Like I was saying, the only gerrymandering that was found deemed to be unconstitutional is ones that have it's like a racial gerrymandering. As far as partisan gerrymandering goes, the Supreme Court has ruled that it's a political aspect. It doesn't have to do with the Supreme Court. They're not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And it will impact minority voting rights. So the Democrats probably have a very good case in court to stop this from happening. There's a lot going on with that. So there was, like I was saying before, there's cases of racial gerrymandering that were deemed unconstitutional, and then there was cases that were partisan issues that were deemed to be political, and the Supreme Court would not pick it up. That means the cases will get shot back down to the state and the state's constitution, which, you know, are all state judges fair? Probably not. Do they have a chance? Do Democrats have a really good chance? Probably. But we'll have to see where it plays out. There will be lawsuits in this. There will be lawsuits. Democrats flood Texas. Gavin Newsom's in the ring now. He's fighting back. A lot going on. So let's learn together, because I am not an expert on this, but we will be by the time we're done.
Day prices for regular Texans skyrocketing. They are afraid of the next election cycle, which is why they are now trying to go even further to steal 5 more seats. So no, both sides don't play this game. But while Texas is now saying we're going to go even further in the cheat, I am grateful other Democratic states are stepping up and saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so ultimately, the people should say, hey, why don't you all do what Democratic states do? Let the people draw your lines and compete on fair ideas. That's what we want. That's what I would love to see. We can't get Republicans to agree to it, so it really is up to the people of not only Texas, but the nation to say, give us back our power.
So the big points of that is they are targeting black districts. They are targeting Jasmine Crockett and Al Green's districts in this. Here is the remapping. This is what the remapping looks like. This is what they want for the representation of the state of Texas in Congress. I wish I had a sus button, but this does not seem accurate to me. Does it seem accurate to anybody else? So, and they're not even hiding it. We just heard Ted Cruz. Yeah, we're probably going to lose the midterm, so this is good for Texas and good for us and our representation of the people of Texas and the United States and all the job growth that's happened under Trump. With 75,000 jobs lost this last quarter. So there's a lot going on here. You know, and like I said, Democrats have a good chance. Racial gerrymandering is a thing. There's many cases of racial gerrymandering that have happened. Supreme Court ruled in, it was Shaw versus Reno, 1993, Miller versus Johnson, 95, Cooper versus Harris, 2017, that they were based off of race, and they were shut down. They couldn't do it. Partisan gerrymandering that have won, Rucho versus Common Cause, 2019. So that was, they said it was partisan. It had nothing to do with race, and it didn't go in the favor. So, like I said, it really does depend on to the courts about this. But kudos to the Democrats for standing up and fleeing the vote. And shame on the Republicans for pretty much saying they're going to come send the feds after them and pick them up and send them back. Or have them arrested. And then there was threats involved. It's getting ugly. But that's part of the consequences behind this. This is inflammatory. Either way, this will have repercussions to where it creates more of a polarization between people and our representatives. So let's learn more. Let's get into some clips. Maybe we can get some more information here.
They've left the state, abandoned their posts, and turned their backs on the constituents they swore to represent.
So here's the other side. Here's the other side talking about it.
They've shirked their responsibilities under the direction and pressure of out-of-state politicians,
Joe Scarborough,
and activists who don't know the first thing about what's right for Texas. To be absolutely clear, leaving the state does not stop this House from doing its work. It only delays it. And every day this chamber is unable to act, the cost grows.
Oh my goodness, it's almost like Lincoln talking to Congress at the beginning of the Civil War. The stakes are
I'm sorry, that wasn't Joe. This is Joe.
so high. Oh wait, no they're not, Willie. To do what's right for the people of Texas.
I don't know who that other guy was. He's one of the Republican politicians. I can't remember his name. There's so many of them.
To take the vote away from anybody in Texas who's basically a Democrat by gerrymandering the districts like so out of whack that even if Democrats manage to get a 50-50 vote total in state legislative races, Republicans would win overwhelmingly. That guy and the rest of the Texas legislature and Greg Abbott want to rig the system. They want to make sure that Republicans are overrepresented on Election Day.
And Adam Kissinger came out and said, yeah, this could lead to violence because of this. That's how much of heightened political polarization this is going to cause. That was one of the side effects of this happening. People are going to go frickin' batshit crazy about this.
They want to rig the process, and so they're acting so indignant about it. The short-sightedness of it is this. If Texas achieves what they want to achieve, then California will go back. And then they will draw up even more rigged lines that will help Democrats. And New York State will do it. And who knows? Maybe
everybody will do this. Will be a cascade effect of redrawing. It'll start one spot. Widespread copycat will happen. Every state will do it. It'll go to the courts. The only way this is going to get really stopped is the federal Supreme Court steps in and said this has a racial cause to it. It's being done because of race, which there's plenty of evidence that there's a lot of things going on that are unconstitutional from this administration, being that Trump asked for this, being that ICE is getting shut down for some of their tactics they're using. They might have a really good case.
And Florida decides, I mean, it really is. It's an idiotic thing to do. They used to do it every 10 years. And now I don't know if the president told them to do this or somebody else told them to do it. But
he did.
It's just stupid. And worse than that, it's just not right. I mean, gerrymandering is just, it is so anti-democratic. And yet both sides have been doing it for a long time. And it's time for us to stop it. And this is not going to accomplish anything.
He sounds a little worried.
Right now, Texas is going...
All right, we're going to skip him. I've got some clips here also. I've got a little category here. There were people that went and actually sat in front of town halls and spoke out against it. I should have it right here. Should have some redistricting here. Here, we'll listen to what the people think.
I oppose this mid-census redistricting plan.
This is in Texas.
Targeting black and brown districts to accomplish Trump's goal of gaining 5 new seats. I oppose racial gerrymandering and any cracking and packing that will surely be the center of this effort. Texans do not want or need this. California and other Democratic-led states have vowed to redistrict in such a way as to neutralize any Republican seats that might be gained. So what is the point? Why set a precedent that redistricting can occur whenever any leader in power says so on a whim? Tarrant County is already spending taxpayer dollars to defend an illegal racial gerrymandering lawsuit of its county commission.
Hey guys, if you could, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. I've had my channel around for quite some time. We do a lot of fundraising, and that was what the channel is all about, is blooming into bigger things, covering the protests as well if you want to see that. But we will continue to fundraise. I will be taking it just a little break away, kind of gain my senses and see the direction I want to go. But we will also be doing a fundraiser for my buddy Rowan, and we'll be doing a face reveal with him with clips, and also we're going to circle back to Paige, because Paige went to Ukraine and I haven't interviewed her back since she's been back.
Any passage of illegally racially gerrymandered bills will result in the same fate at the state level. As I close, it is you, state legislators, who will suffer the biggest fallout. Congressional seats might be gained, but many more of you will lose yours. I oppose this meeting.
All right, a couple more clips I got saved here. Some good stuff. People speaking out against it.
I'm here and I'm kind of, respectfully, Mr. Chair, it's ironic and kind of sad to me that we're here, because I've watched 2 hearings already where your colleagues have asked you about the existence of this committee, and you've simply passed the buck and said, because there's a letter, this is what we have to do. And you said this morning, or at the start of this meeting, that we had to follow the rules. Your response to the governor when he put this on the agenda should have been 4 words, because this is Texas, right? This is the land of Six Flags. This is the land of Whataburger. This is the land of Shine-A-Bop. You should have said 4 words to the governor: don't mess with Texas. And your answer to the Department of Justice, instead of asking the Department of Justice to come testify, your answer to the Department of Justice should have been 4 words about our maps. Come and take them. Yeah. So I hope you'll do as others have said here and simply do nothing until the 2030 census, and then we'll get to the business of the people. Thank you.
And plenty of people speak out against it.
I want to make sure that this gets a little bit of attention. So is it your contention that this legislature being called in an emergency session should focus on the emergency at hand? Well, families are still suffering, and we're up here with this political charade.
So nothing for the flood victims, but we're going to talk about redistricting because Orange Man said so.
The second thing that you brought up was about how Texas is already a gerrymandered state. Are you aware that every redistricting by this legislature for the past 30 years has ended up in federal court? And did you also know that we literally we are awaiting the decision on a current court case for the 2021 redistricting? You just heard that trial in El Paso, is that right? Yes. Here's a fun fact.
That doesn't make me very confident that they're just hearing that case and it's 2025.
Everyone in the room. The last time...
Hey, by the way, you guys were wrong. You shouldn't have done that, but oh well.
Texas redistricted outside of the census was 2003. And those maps were struck down by the United States Supreme Court as being unconstitutional. I want to thank you for highlighting those issues. Thanks for coming here today.
Yeah, this is crazy. Many are saying this is the 911. This is the biggest deal of our time right now. This is going to decide the future of our nation, and I'm leaning that way. I'm agreeing. So the impact of this, I think, I don't think a lot of people understand how important it is, unfortunately.
See who you are, and we see what you're doing. You're shameless, power-hungry bootlickers for Trump.
Damn.
historically, you rolled on vouchers. And we would really like to see you do better this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. I love the energy. Thank you. Have a good day. Let him have it. Let him have it.
Correct. Please give us your testimony. It's asinine that we're here talking about this today when we know the state of Texas has argued in court that the maps drawn after the 2020 census weren't based on race, and yet the DOJ justification is that these maps were drawn based on race. You can't have it make sense unless you are willing to acknowledge that this is nothing more than a step toward authoritarianism.
Yeah.
Is scared to death that the people won't vote for them in 2026. They needed to find a place led by those who will kiss the ring and do their bidding to carve out a handful of seats. Enter Texas. The administration has embarked on a Christian nationalist agenda to destroy the things that have made this country great. We know that if they have 2 more years controlling all levers of power, our country will be unrecognizable.
Yeah.
That's what they're banking on. Authoritarianism doesn't arrive with trumpets. It creeps in and thrives on our hesitation to speak out, our unwillingness, our willingness to compromise with injustice. You look at this room, we are saying no more. Thank you.
I really hope that they can bring into the court cases the fact that Trump is the one that's pushing for this, the fact that of all the ICE raids they're doing, that they're using unconstitutional tactics, the fact that there's race behind these stops, and the fact that there's clear racism coming from this administration, and base the court case off of that. I'm really hoping that's the direction, that's all admissible, and that's the way it can go. But if not, if they don't win in court, we got this guy who I'm not a huge fan of, but we got him.
I think there's a growing recognition in this country, not just with Democrats.
I'm a bigger fan now.
Republicans, that de facto the Trump presidency ends in November of next year, if the American people are given a fair chance and a voice and a choice. Take back Congress. The President of the United States recognizes that, so he wants to rig the game. Wants to change the rules midterm. They're very effective at this. They've done this in the past. They've got a lot of experience doing this. He dials up Greg Abbott, says, I need 5 instead of 12,000 votes. Georgia, I need 5 seats.
Dude, I like how he just slides in instead of 12,000 votes. He just kind of slides that in.
And they're doing a midterm rejection of objectivity and independence. A act that we could criticize from the sideline, or an act that we can respond to in kind, fight fire with fire in the spirit that brings us here together today.
Yep. More for Gavin Newsom. I'm liking what he's saying.
They're not screwing around. We cannot afford to screw around either. We have got to fight fire with fire. And I'll close on that point. What more evidence do you need in the state of California in the last just 6 months? Warrantless raids all across this state. Threatening to condition disaster aid on the basis of politics, not on the basis of principles and the needs of people. We've seen these illegal tariffs take shape and impact this state disproportionately more than any other state. All of this is on the line. And so that's why we're here drawing not just new lines, but standing firm and trying to hold the line on democracy, our freedoms, our liberties, things that we can no longer take for granted.
So Gavin Newsom is basing this special election he's looking for under transparency, is what he's saying. It's going to be as transparent as possible when he does this. We got a little more sound clips from him we'll get into.
We are moving forward. Make no mistake. California is moving forward as a state that's larger than 21 state populations combined. We are not a small, isolated state. state larger than 21 populations combined. We
Fifth largest economy in the world, just passing Japan.
tried to play by a higher set of standards and rules with our independent redistricting, and we believe in that. And we are not talking about eliminating that commission. We are talking about emergency measures to respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent of the people, and that's the difference between the approach we're taking and the approach they're taking. We're doing it on a temporary basis. We're doing it in a fully transparent way, and we're doing it by asking the people of the state of California for their consent and support. Mark that stark contrast to what's happening in Texas and other states.
So I haven't seen it drawn up yet for California, but it's coming. I'm sure the lawyers are working on it right now.
A public show of support from California.
That's a bad clip. I'll read a little bit about it. We can read. I can read. Reading's fun. I can read. Words hard. Reading fun. All right, let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. Get a little sound going in the background here. Sacramento, California. California lawmakers are grappling with Governor Newsom's bold proposal to scrap the state's independent redistricting system in favor of a partisan power play. Newsom's threat is a direct response to Texas Governor Greg Abbott's mid-decade redistricting efforts on the agenda in the special legislation session that commenced Monday. Lawmakers in the Lone Star State are meeting in part to consider President Donald Trump's request for the state to add up. See, they're not even hiding the fact that he requested it. This is why I think that should be admissible in court if this actually goes through. I lost. Skibbity. I lost. Anyways, President Trump's doing this. So President Trump's request for the state to add up to 5 GOP leaning congressional districts ahead of 2026 midterm elections. Like we said earlier, Al Green's one, Jasmine Crockett's the other, my girl, Jasmine. Newsom, frustrated by what he calls a rigged process in red states, says California should consider doing the same to boost Democrats' representation in Congress. If these guys are literally going to rig de facto the outcome of November next year, I can't just sit back passively. The California governor said in a recent episode of his podcast, "This is Gavin Newsom." Cringe. When I look at the ground that these guys are leveling and the core tenets of our democracy, our republic being literally taken down in real time, I'd be in peril of being judged not to have lived if I don't at least explore an alternative to save our country. He's gonna run. He's gonna run for president, guys. I'm busting out the Chungus crystal ball. He's gonna make a presidential run. He's being tough. He's standing up. He's got the polls. The polls are showing him pretty high up there for being a candidate. He's gonna run. He's got a pretty good chance probably, but mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings for him. Like I said before, during COVID, we were on lockdown here. He was at the French Laundry, which is a very, very famous restaurant in Napa, close to where I live, having dinner with some of his brokers, I believe. It was his brokers he was with. But, if we're going to look, let's take a peek at the French Laundry. Menu and stories, daily menus. This isn't chef's tasting menu. We have oysters and pearls. We have shit I can't pronounce. Régis au revoir reserve caviar. Salad verde or salade verde. Hawaiian big-eye tuna tartare. Dashi braised Santa Bar. Okay, so this is my beef with him. While I was on lockdown learning how to trout fish off a kayak because I couldn't do anything else other than go to work and risk my life and my family's life, he was here having wonderful food that I can't even pronounce. Snake River Farms American Beef Chateaubriand, I can pronounce that, with his buddies. I think it was at a birthday party is what it was. And he came out and said, yeah, I screwed up. I shouldn't have done it. I did it. I'm sorry. Boris Johnson lost his seat in Parliament over the sea because of doing shit like that. So, that left that left a really sour taste in my mouth when he did that. I never got over that. I would have to talk to the man personally to fully get over that. But, you know, you picking the least of two evils. He went out during COVID and look all the shit Trump did, right? So if you're weighing the two sides right now, obviously I'm going to stick with the governor. I have to when I look at it like that. So a little more. Typically, states draw new maps every 10 years to account for population changes accounted for in the U.S. Census report. However, Texas is facing lawsuits over the district's legislators drew after the 2020 census that alleged the maps discriminate against Latino and black voters, giving the state an opportunity to adjust its maps. While racial gerrymandering is unlawful, the courts have ruled partisan gerrymandering is legal. So we'll have to see where the courts decide on this. A lot to it. Since the discussion began in Texas, Newsom has obsessively floated the idea of social media and other podcast appearances and to reporters. Last Wednesday, in an unrelated press conference, he told KABC, our sister station in Los Angeles, that he is considering asking the legislator to redraw the state's U.S. House maps due to legal gray zone. He said he is also looking at asking the Democrat-controlled legislator to pass a constitutional amendment for hypothetical special election ballot in which voters reevaluate California's independent redistricting commission. So there's been pushback with this as well. I'm not going to read the whole article because I'll just freaking go skibbity in my brain. But I believe, I might actually have the clip of that. Did I save the clip of it? Yeah, right here. Our buddy over here in Sacramento at my friend's district, Republican Kevin Kiley, friend of Ukraine, supporter of Ukraine. I have pictures of him holding a Ukrainian flag during the action summits on Zoom calls and blah, 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 blah.
A Republican congressman in California announced today he will introduce new legislation to try to prohibit mid-decade redistricting like this all across the country. NBC's Sahil Kapoor is following that for us. Tell us more about this new bill and the chances of it moving forward.
So first off, Chris, there's no bill just yet. This is an announcement by second-term Republican Kevin Kiley, who represents a competitive district near Sacramento, about a bill he says he will introduce tomorrow. Second, it's extreme.
So the reason Kiley is taking this stance, and I don't trust this man. I don't. He might, devout Christian, blah, 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 this and that, nice guy, blah, blah, blah. I don't trust this man because he is living in a very, very competitive district. So he's kind of going, we'll just stop all this nonsense from happening, which might not be the wrong thing, but gerrymandering is sort of a long-time American tradition. It's been going on since Abe Lincoln jumping out of the window, right? So, yeah, this both sides bad kind of bullshit coming from him. I'm not buying this guy at all. He's no friend of Ukraine. He's going to do what MAGA wants eventually, or else his political career's over. He knows it. Or maybe, maybe he'll flip Democrat. I don't know. I don't trust him at all.
Extremely unlikely to pass the House unless there's some sudden and unexpected shift by Republican leaders who have spent many years opposing legislation to put constraints on gerrymandering. Now, Kiley says this bill will prohibit mid-decade redistricting by nullifying any new House maps drawn before the 2030 census in any state. He calls the governor's move in California a corrupt scheme to overthrow the state's independent commission. Now, what this shows is that Republicans are taking the Democratic threats seriously, maybe even putting some pressure on GOP leaders who have stonewalled Democratic attempts in Washington for many years to ban partisan gerrymandering in all states. These members are realizing that if red states can draw new maps to knock out Democratic districts, blue states can do the same thing to Republicans. Check out this tweet from Governor Gavin Newsom posting an eyes emoji in response to one user's hypothetical idea for California to knock out all 9 Republicans and create a fully blue map. Extremely hypothetical, I emphasize, but it gives you a sense of where the vibe is moving toward, Chris. So it's no coincidence that some of these Republicans now speaking out against the power-seeking redistricting schemes are the ones who stand to lose out if Democrats do in fact respond to Texas. Another Republican speaking up here is Congressman Mike Lawler, who represents a swing district in New York. He told a PBS podcast that gerrymandering should be banned nationwide.
A Republican.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think gerrymandering should be banned nationwide? To me, it just feels like kind of trying to play in the middle, both sides right now. And it's all about their political careers when it comes down to these assholes. They don't really care about the people. Kevin Kiley wouldn't have this stance if he was in a more deep red district. Yeah, now they care. Exactly, Nomad Omen. Now they care all of a sudden, right? I'm not buying that shit one bit. Not one bit. What I am hoping for is that some of the ICE raids, and some of the unconstitutional shit they've been doing goes in the courts, and that's what helps decide this. I've got a lot of clips on that actually somewhere. We can kind of hop around a little bit. A little bit of unseen clips of the ICE raids. We'll transition. Before we transition, I got a few clips of the ICE raids we're going to share. Shit that's going on, more takes, and then a little skibbity back and forth. Stuff I thought was cool to save. We'll check on the fundraiser. Let's check on the fundraiser pinned in the chat. Car for Ukraine fundraiser and the raffle prize that we'll be sharing here in a little bit to see who wins. 4,985. We're just under 5,000 euros, guys. Still just under 5,000 euros. Looks like we got Steve Sane 20, David Navarro 16, Claire threw in 100. So we've got some raffle tickets in here for the wonderful prize we're doing right here. 3D printed 5th Border Guard, and it's 5th Border Guards who we're fundraising for, Prime Unit. You can win this. Just if you win it, send me your mailing address, DM me in Discord, and I'll mail it out to you. And we will raffle at the end of the stream. All right, more to it. Let's get into some more clips. Some more of the ICE raids, some other stuff too, some other political takes. I might have missed a few clips also of the gerrymandering incidents, so we'll get into it.
I think this
is another one of the gerrymandering here.
This is the boss level. This is the end game of where we are in America. This is the final move to see whether we keep our democracy or not.
So this is Texas State Representative Gene Wu.
If everyone is allowed to do this, if every state does this, every time a president changes or politics change, we'll continue to just throw everything red or blue each time. And if they keep doing that, there's no more democracy left because politicians won't care who elects them. They'll just do whatever they want. That's not good for America. That's not good for democracy. At the end of the day, we knew going into this how much sacrifice this would take. This is not something we took very lightly. That all of our members who are here, they understand the personal sacrifice, both in terms of income, in terms of fines that they're going to pick up, in terms of being gone from their families again. All these things were considered. And every single person who is with us has said, whatever pain that we would feel is nothing compared to the pain that Americans would feel if we did not stand up now, if we did not fight back now, if we did not rally people to our cause now. The pain that Americans would suffer would be far in excess of what we would feel. And whatever pain we can take off of their shoulders, we're happy to take.
So yeah, a lot going on. Yeah, ICE is like one step away, it seems like, of taking whoever Trump wants. I mean, they're jumping out Penske trucks just like the Proud Boys are at their marches. Like, it's the same tactics they're using.
Guys, I'm ducking right now behind. Oh shit! Tear gas has been deployed. It's very heavy. It's getting heavier. Flashbangs, non-lethal rounds are being fired. They're clearing out protesters. I am ducking behind here.
That was back in June. Little footage. Really good clip there. Really good clip. Lots of ice going on. We got more ice here.
We begin tonight in Atlanta, where investigators say a clearer picture.
Oh no, that's the shooting. That's not. Let's get in right here.
Our uncle.
We want ice out of here.
Look, this guy really. This is how you get under the skin of ICE agents. Like, this is how you bring them back to humanity. Listen to this man, and look at the ICE agent's face when he's talking to him.
Guys, he's under the influence or something. He's not even looking straight. Food vendor, bro. Food vendors. We are food vendors. We work hard in this country. Hard. Bought that shit on Amazon. We work hard in this country, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man. Hard. Hard. We work so fucking hard in this fucking country, man. And you know what, bro? You're doing your job, and the way you're doing your job, I'm not gonna be like that. You have a job to do, but have sympathy, bro. You could quit. You could quit this shit, dog. Just give in, bro. Just give in. I'm serious, man. It hurts, bro. How many members? Just give in. Come on, man. Didn't he say he was just gonna get the credit room? That's what he said. Then the president just said that. Come on, man. Just give in, bro. Come on, look.
Yeah, ICE is now recruiting 18-year-olds, by the way.
Yo, hey, I'm crying, bro, because I see the vendors, bro. Yo han mirado como estamos sufriendo. We want peace. We want peace in this life, man. We want peace, bro. We want to live, man.
Right now, I can't. You don't look like a white American citizen.
I mean, I understand.
You have family who are immigrants, right? I know you do. How the fuck can you do something like this, bro? Just fucking knowing where your family.
I don't think he might not be Latino. He might not be Latino.
He is Latino, way. Look at him, bro. Look at shit, way fucking chuck, bro. Look at that shit.
Quit, bro. Quit right now in front of all of us. Say fuck this shit. We'll give you a
Dude,
hug.
I would love to see one of them actually take off their shit and quit right in front of everybody. That would hit so hard.
Quit your shit. We'll give you a hug.
Yeah, we'll forgive
Throw
you,
your
man.
shit.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he came right now. Yeah. Where's the paperwork?
So see what he was doing with his eyes, how he's looking away. He was trying to focus on anything else but what he is hearing. It's a tactic you use also in de-escalation. If someone's freaking out on you, you pay attention to something like close to them. Of course, you watch them, but you pay attention to like a color on the shirt, like a pin, or something else that you focus your attention on to disassociate. It's called something disassociation. When you detach yourself from the situation so you don't get emotionally pressed into it. But really cool. I'll try again. Did I lose it? I lost it. Try again. Yeah, it's a tactic they use to keep their mind focused on something else so they don't break down. Every person that has to do with de-escalation learns that. It's like de-escalation 101. Let's see what else we got clips on ICE.
Tonight, the I-Team has a rare look at some of the secretive training for Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, the ICE Academy for new officers. Training that in some instances advocates say is concerning and their lawyers argue is illegal. It was January 26th, 11:05 a.m. when ICE agents thought they spotted their target in Lyons, Illinois. 47-year-old
LJ Boone says the lower age, all the benefits they were tossing out shows one thing that's positive. They were struggling for hires facts. If they weren't, they wouldn't have all the offers and the lower age. They're also they're trying to recruit. They're also speed lining the training process. They just want people grabbers. They don't give a shit who they are.
Year-old Abel Orozco.
This is your house? This is my house.
According to this ICE report, agents quickly realized they had the wrong person. But after checking DHS systems and finding a decades-old removal order for the father, agents prepared a new warrant.
He was essentially a collateral arrest. You know, they were not looking for him.
The I-Team has learned ICE agents preparing warrants on the spot is not uncommon. In fact, it was part of their training. This document obtained by the I-Team is titled ICE Academy, Training Materials for New Agents in the Chicago Area. The slides predate the second Trump administration. In it, you'll find the typical banalities of corporate learning. One slide with, there is no I in team. But it's these slides, titled Warrantless Arrests, that have now been called into question in court. Officers may also carry a blank Form I-200. I-200s are DHS arrest warrants. The slide states the warrants may not be pre-signed. Rather, a supervisor needs to be in the field to sign it.
Frankly, we're just deeply troubled that ICE, has spent the past couple of years apparently trying to create workarounds to evade the court's order.
That court order is a 2022 agreement known as the Castellon-Nava Settlement. To arrest someone without a warrant, the court order required ICE agents to meet two criteria. Is there probable cause to believe someone is in the U.S. illegally, and are they also a flight risk? But Mark Fleming with the National Immigrant Justice Center has argued ICE flouted that requirement.
They decided to establish...
Are they also a flight risk? Wait a second. Isn't the point to get them out? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Can someone clarify that for me?
A parallel universe of policies and procedures, and frankly, unlawful policies and procedures as to how to make arrests in the field.
Attorneys expect a judge to rule on whether the agreement was violated by ICE any day now. Today in Chicago, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem saying her department has received 80,000 applications and training time for some agents will decrease.
Lies. Yeah,
In an effort
training
to
time decreased, but I doubt she has a ton of, well, maybe there are that many assholes in the United States.
In hiring.
It'll be within weeks because we're going to give them credit for what they already know. What if they're former law enforcement, they already have training and certifications that we will honor and look at.
ICE and the Department of Homeland Security would not comment on the training materials given pending litigation, but in court, an attorney representing the government said this training was legal and within the terms of the settlement agreement.
Yeah, they're going to get their asses sued off after this all hits the fan. It might be years down the road, but oh my God, there's going to be, it might just be, can they do a nationwide class action? I don't know. Individual ones are going to be just as bad, but here Midas Touch showing a little bit more of what's going on in LA.
Massive protests against Donald Trump and his regime erupting in Los Angeles. It's not being covered at all by corporate news. We cover it here at the Midas Touch Network. You see the people in Los Angeles rising up against Donald Trump's ICE raids. Donald Trump not handling it well. So yesterday, Donald Trump once again ran to the roof of the White House, and he was going to rant and rave like a lunatic, and I think someone had to pull him back down and say, "Don't do that again, Donald." How do I know that? Well, if you look at what the White House pool report was saying, this is what they wrote yesterday at 5:02 p.m., right around the time we saw those massive protests in Los Angeles. From the White House pool, it appears POTUS may have canceled his plan to go out on the White House roof again. Security positioned on the roof has gone inside.
Dude, that is wild. Who goes on the... Dude, Grandpa's got dementia again, guys. Get the ladder out. He's going on the roof again.
Secret Service is still holding the pool in place, however, in case POTUS does indeed go onto the roof. And then shortly before that, the White House pool report said, the pool has been informed that POTUS is headed to the roof of the White House. We are now positioned outside. You'll recall earlier in the week, Donald Trump...
It would be crazy if he went up there and just shit himself in front of everybody.
Was ranting and raving like a lunatic from the roof of the White House that he wanted to put nuclear weapons on the White House. He was being asked, "What are you doing up there?" He said, "I want to put nukes on the roof." And people were like, "What?" And then he started saying, "I bought all of this." He was pointing around the White House in D.C. "I bought all of this. This is mine. I paid for it." Let's go back to the protests taking place in Los Angeles. Here is another angle. Non-stop protests happening in LA. They're not being reported or televised, except for here. On the
except for here, too, buddy.
Midas Touch Network. We are the media now. Here, play this clip. Now, Donald Trump not just getting protested in Los Angeles, the Trump regime getting protest in the UK. Shout out to all our UK viewers at the Midas Touch Network. J.D. Vance was going to the Chevening House in the United Kingdom to meet with David Lammy, their foreign minister in the UK, after Donald Trump engaged in what...
All right, fat JD head bobbleheads in the chat, please, guys.
May be the most
Fat JD Vance bobbleheads in the chat. Spam them.
Humiliating foreign policy and diplomatic blunder in the history of the United States of America regarding the meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. I'll get to that in just a moment. My, how humiliating for the Trump regime and the United States of America. But here are our friends, the Midas Mighty in the UK.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's like clear signs of dementia. How diluted is this guy? What is wrong with him? Why is he going on the roof of the White House? Why is he meeting with Vladimir Putin? Why are all these things happening in our country? Why did everybody vote for this? Who feels safer? Why are prices going up? Why are jobs going down? Why is everything going backwards?
Met with dozens of protesters, Homeland
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem pays a brief visit to Lombard today, where she criticized Illinois politicians and bragged about the successes of ICE.
The people united will never be defeated.
Protesters lined the street as Kristi Noem's motorcade pulled into Lombard's Department of Homeland Security's field office. Inside, she stood in front of a display of guns, drugs, and cash. Behind Noem, posters of 4 undocumented Illinois men with
Oh my God, they got 4 people.
convictions. Her office deported.
A Polish man.
I'm here today because the elected leaders in this state of Illinois are ignoring the law. In fact, they're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets.
Noem specifically blasted Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson for sanctuary city laws that prohibit local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE. Noem maintains over 70% of the individuals arrested by ICE have pending or criminal convictions against them. Those numbers are strongly disputed by immigration groups.
We know from our hotline and from talking to our community partners that the breadth of their operation is wide, and that the people that ICE is abducting and taking are our neighbors and community members.
Nobody's getting swept up. We're running targeted enforcement operations across the country and using our case files and our information to know who is a criminal in this country that needs to be removed.
To boost numbers, the Trump administration is hiring 10,000 new ICE officers. Noem says she plans to expedite the training process for people with law.
God, she just looks so freaking wicked, dude. South Park did her right. That's how it be. She's getting dressed up. Oh my God, and just melting. Bleh. Fix my Botox.
Enforcement experience. She already announced the department is lowering the hiring age to 18.
We aren't going to back down. We're going to make sure that our immigrants, everyone across the country in DuPage County, feel that they are
Notice how they always like people younger.
safe and welcome.
Protesters say they refuse to let ICE agents terrorize Illinois communities.
We have had that open for less than a week, and we have over 80,000 applicants for those jobs.
Secretary Noem's press conference only lasted about 20 minutes, but protesters were out here a lot longer, and they plan to be if she makes any more visits to Illinois.
No, she should stay out of Illinois. It's fucking terrible, dude. Terrible.
Do you have a picture of him somewhere? Are we just profiling a person?
Are we just kidnapping him? It's like, oh, you look Mexican? I'm Mexican too. What's up? How do you guys know I'm born here? This is insane.
At the end of spring in Los Angeles, what we saw is steeped up immigration enforcement, unlike we had ever seen in the city or in the county prior. And there was a number of very aggressive tactics that took a lot of people, including immigration and civil rights lawyers, by surprise.
One of the main tactics we were seeing a lot coming up were roving patrols. Those have been done historically along the border, involves agents who are in a car or on foot. They're trying to deter illegal activity is what they say.
Fuck that shit. I see 4 dudes jump out looking like that. I'm running. Even if I didn't do anything wrong. Ain't nobody gonna grab my ass. I don't know who the fuck they are.
But really what we have found is that it involves driving around here in LA specifically, like predominantly Latino neighborhoods, looking for people that they're spotting on site. One of the cases we saw specifically was them pulling into a tow yard in Montebello, cut across the street, pull into this tow yard, and immediately start asking questions. And that is a case that we have seen repeatedly coming up again and again. And a lot of these roving patrols then turn into another tactic, which is known as a consensual encounter.
Look how you got my hand. You're twisting that shit. I'm American, bro. Yo, these guys are literally.
And a lot of attorneys question whether these consensual encounters are actually consensual. What we saw in the case of the tow yard with Brian Gaviria, he was a U.S. citizen, and there was others there who got asked their names.
Up a skin color. My homie was born here just because of the way he looks.
Lawyers say that when people are approached, they ask, are you American? Where were you born? But there's also come with guns, they come masked, and oftentimes the question is, are these people really free to leave as they're supposed to be able to?
Consensual encounter is done in such a way where it's so conversational, almost it's like, hey, can I ask you a question? And it's just agents approaching people And sometimes people not knowing how to respond or what to do, especially if you have the pressure of a bunch of agents who are armed surrounding you, people are answering, no, I'm not here legally, or no, I'm not an American. And then that really is what we've seen that triggers the arrest.
And that leads rise to another tactic that we've seen a lot. It says, if they run, we will chase.
Agents are using people running away from them as reasonable suspicion to then stop them. And even American citizens have run from agents. People who have legal status to be here have run. Almost it's instinctual for some people because, as a federal judge said here in LA, if armed, masked men who are unidentified are running at you, it makes sense that people would then run away from them. There's surveillance footage we saw of a roving patrol that was happening in Pico Rivera, and there was a custodial worker, he was pushing a trash can in the parking lot. Border Patrol truck comes barreling toward him because to them, they were like, okay, he's running from us, that must mean
It scared some poor janitor out of his fucking shoes.
He's in the country illegally. We were hearing cases where agents were like laughing at people who had run and been like, oh, we never would have got them if they had never run.
And part and parcel to these roving patrols, part and parcel to these consensual encounters are where they're stopping individuals. They often stop them at Home Depots or at car washes. There's been at least 58 car washes in the Los
Dude, did you see how that guy's carrying himself? Oh my God, look at this ass clown, hat backwards. Yeah, y'all not from around here. Look at this guy.
There's been at least 58 car washes in the Los Angeles
Dude, what a bunch of fucking goons, bro.
Orange County that have been hit, some of them multiple times, and often they use these locations because they presume the individuals there aren't going to be documented individuals. A federal judge in Los Angeles found that is one of 3 other factors that cannot be used to determine reasonable suspicion to detain a person.
One big thing I would note is what we saw repeatedly in a lot of these videos that have gone viral. A lot of them do involve Border Patrol agents who don't historically work in the interior. They are more used to working on the border. They were in and out.
There's the Penske trucks, just like the frickin' Proud Boys.
2 minutes, they go, they immediately make a beeline to the certain workers. We were finding in some cases, especially people who were brown-skinned, felt specifically targeted. It's a consensual encounter that comes off of a roving patrol. They say, what's your legal status? Are you a citizen? Where were you born? And then, they'll arrest people within a 2-minute span and clear out.
More ICE raids, now being deemed unconstitutional in their tactics. So more to come on that. Here's more heckling outside of Kristi Noem's speech he had in Illinois.
Go home! Kristi, go home! Kristi, go home! Kristi, go home!
I'm not gonna call that heckling. This is protesting.
Shame! 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 Shame!
Yeah, so they already said they pulled resources from the border. They had to pull National Guard from the border to do these raids and to do the security in LA. So yeah, they made us less safe by doing this. She's gonna get that no matter where she goes. I bet she gets it everywhere she goes. This is Operation Trojan Horse.
Tengo mis papeles. Okay, paga tu phone.
You were in Thailand and you saw protests? Yeah, the Thailand, they know how to get down. They know how to get down on protests. For sure. What else here? Oh, yeah, we'll get into that later. That'll be some other time. Here we go.
This is what they brought us yesterday. That is what they shot at us with yesterday. As VC Defensa, Ventura County's been relatively quiet for the last 2.5 weeks because our amazing volunteers have been following every single ICE car that comes out of that.
OBS Studio Reconnection. Jeopardy theme. I must be back. Am I back? I'm back. Everything's good. Can't spell OBS without BS. Yeah, I'm back. No, it said I lost internet connection completely. I'm front too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it happens. It's part of the live streaming gig, I guess. All right, we're back. Yeah, I completely lost connection there for a second. I just gave it a minute, came right back. Where were we? Time to bounce back and front. I think that was it. What do we got? That was the last. Was that the last clip? No, that wasn't the last clip. Yeah, that was the last clip too. I'll cut off kind of a bit there. All right, well, hey, we're back anyways. If I can get some love in the chat real quick, get the algorithm back. Do I gotta reopen my own chat? There we go. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that was the last clip. It cut off short. Hey, that's live streaming. Now here's another view of the Penske trucks. We'll show that. These are all the people running. If anything, they're just endangering lives. Like, these people are freaking running for their lives in front of vehicles. This is... The tactics they're using is just so freaking criminal. Everybody trying to sell their stuff at the corner here. Absolutely atrocious.
You arrested someone illegally.
Get away.
Why? I'm allowed to be here. I'm stopping you from breaking the law.
See, dude, we see these Penske trucks at all the Proud Boy marches. It's just so freaking... It's unreal. It's like they planned to do that. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. We'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, I hope clips like this are used whenever it actually does, when the redistricting thing hits. I hope they can use this as be like, hey, here's what the administration's doing. Here's what it is. And they can use that in a court of law to show there's clear racism involved in the redistricting of Texas. We'll have to go there. Let's check in on the fundraiser, guys, before I go. Before we do the raffle, actually. Not before I go. We're going to do the raffle. Let's move on to the raffle. Tough transition there with it cutting off, but it is what it is. All right. All right, hey. Canty. We got to do the Macarena at some point this week, dude. We just hit the 5,000 euro mark. Thank you, guys. 5,000 euro mark has been broken, guys. So Canty and myself both have to do the Macarena on stream. I gotta learn the Macarena. Let's see what we got. We're gonna start mapping this out. Let me get everybody on here. Oh my God, Michelle, you already know about the Macarena. I'm not doing it tonight. You guys are going to have to tune in on a different stream for the Macarena. We're doing the raffle tonight. I'll do the Macarena later for sure. Someone wants to throw... Hey, I'll tell you what. If one person throws in $1,000 donation, get the word out there. $1,000 donation, I will do the Macarena, and I will buy a pair of Daisy Dukes that fit my ass, and I will do the Macarena in Daisy Dukes. $1,000 one person. They'll have to put Macarena Daisy Dukes. I will do it. Or you can pay me not to. You decide. Not me for the fundraiser. All right, let me start graphing this. All right, let's see what we got started out here. First fundraiser of the day. First donation was Claire. Claire. Start mapping it real quick. Okay, Claire got 20 spots, 20 tickets. Next, David. David, 3 tickets. Steve Sane, 4 tickets. Michelle, 4 tickets. And that is it. I'm going to give it a little minute, all right? I'm going to give it a minute before we hit it off, just in case someone came in late with the donation. But we are cutting it off for tonight. So I'll refresh here. I'm going to give it about 5-10 minutes maybe. And we'll hit it off with the fundraiser raffle spin. Ooh, who's talking about Mescal? Ooh, that sounds good. I Jedi's a super or an upper lieutenant for NAFO. Badass. Yeah, if you guys don't notice, also in the background here, I got all my NAFO patches as well, including other patches right here. And Hubert sent me this cool Canadian patch also. I gotta get in there. Badass. Thank you. I got my collection going too. And the Car for Ukraine flag. A bunch of other things. The pin. I got this one from a friend from Sacramento who is Ukrainian. He's in the Czech Republic, and it's a Czech NAFO pin. I also got the patch there. Yeah. Quite the collection. Oh, and also I have some future stuff to raffle too. I still have some stuff that LJ Boone sent me and made. There's a P.O. box on the Discord if you guys want to send stuff to donate to the fundraiser. But I'll be raffling these at some point as well. Cool little keychain clips. Little talismans. Very cool. Very pretty. Super fine crafted. Daddy Jim, if you're lurking, I'm still going to mail out your keychain you want as well. From KK. KKGG's made that and sent it. If you guys want to send stuff, there is a P.O. box also. Also, guys, in the description I have the Discord. Here, I'll pop it in there also if you want. If you guys haven't joined the Discord also, I'll plug that. Also, guys, if you want to become a member, I turned off super chats for the donation because that's just it. I got an $8 super sticker once and made me feel some sort of win when I was trying to fundraise. But if you guys want to do memberships also, it'll help the channel. I'm trying to grow. That's the only plug I'll do for the channel on the stream. Okay, there's the Discord. Throw my gaming channel on there too. I've got more coming. I've got interviews I gotta do. We've got a lot more content. I'm gonna hit it hard. It's really hard. I've noticed it's really hard for me to do live streams in the summer because I'm with my kids. You know, I'm doing it on my own, so I gotta give them a lot of my time. They're headed back to school, so I'll have more free time. All right, I'm gonna hit refresh. Okay, I think we're good there. Dancing, I will dance. It'll happen. Not tonight, though. It'll happen. We have to now. All right, let's get this raffle on the way. Let me pull over the raffle board here. So what do we got? This is how we're going to do it. Close that down. Here's how I got this. I got everybody on an Excel sheet next to a number. Whoever pops up next, whatever number pops up, it's going to be 1 through 31, smaller one. But we made some money for Ukraine tonight for the fundraiser. That's all that really matters. All right. Let me pull it over. We're going to spin this wheel right here. How's that look? All right, we're going to spin the wheel. It's going to be 1 through 31 spots. Random number. 1 through 31. There it is. By range, random number, and we're going to spin, guys. Here we go. Number 26 is going to Steve Sane. Steve Sane, GG, Steve. You won it. Steve Sane won, man, with 4 tickets in. Holy hell. GG's. It's all you, Steve. Right there. 5th Border Guard emblem. I'll mail it out to you. Find me, DM me in Discord, and send me your address and information, mailing address, and I'll ship it to you. Hell yeah, guys. That's how we do it there. Hey, we got donations raised. We beat the 5,000 euro mark, guys. I'll take it. Hey, for a late stream like this, I'll take it. It was kind of impromptu, too. Put a little pressure on some mods. But hey, we did it. All right, guys. That's what I got for you. We got more coming. I might do a stream. I'll probably do a couple streams this week. I'm feeling it. I'm back into it. But I want to send it back for another subscriber. Steve, are you really going to do that? How do you want to do it? You tell me. How do you want to do it? Another spin? Who do you... Okay, so someone else who donated? Is that how you want to do it? Or do you want to do someone random that's watching the stream tonight? Let me know how. Steve is an absolute legend. Spin again. Okay, I'll spin again. All right, we'll go like this then. What a man. The man, the myth, the legend. Steve Sane. Okay, another spin. All right, I moved you out. I moved Michelle back in to your spots there. We'll do another spin, guys. It's going to be 1 through 27 on the raffle then. Where'd my raffle wheel go? Live stream hard. All right, there it is. Here we go. Random number wheel. 1 through 27. Let me get that right. I don't want to screw this up. 1 through 27. All right, we're going to roll it again. A 1. A 2. Oh, it's going to go to Claire. Claire's going to get it. Claire's got it, guys. Claire, you won. I'll reach out to her on WhatsApp. Claire won it, guys. Claire won it. Claire helped so much, she deserves something back for sure. Claire left the chat right now. I'll reach out to her, let her know she won. GG's to Steve. GG's to Steve. Shout out to Steve Sane, guys. Absolute legend supporter. Claire wants to see the Macarena too. I know she does. I'm the Macarena will come. God damn it. All right. Well, hey, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thanks for tuning in. More to come. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the redistricting if you didn't know already what's going on. So more to come for that. Let me hit you for an outro. And yeah, that's how we do the stream, guys. Please, if you haven't, like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Where's my outro? Here we go.
They wave their flags like they own the sky, shouting loud but they don't know why. Books untouched, their minds run dry. Truth's a stranger, they pass right by. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. They chant the words they barely know, hollow pride in a shallow show, pointing fingers where the winds don't blow, building walls where the rivers flow. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. A patriot's heart should beat with grace, not with fists or a hate-filled face. If love's the seed, then let it grow, not in shadows, but where light will show. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. Oh, false flags flying high, empty hearts where the truth won't lie. They scream of love for the land they claim, but their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame. But their wicked deeds bring only shame.
Why would you think Michelle Obama's a man?
Well, do a little research. Just do a little research.
But that's like out there.
What's out there is the fact that her walking out in a skirt, and there's an obvious bulge where there shouldn't be one.
Another day. Just run till you take your last breath. There's no time to sit around being lazy. Renegade junk is gonna grind out daisy. Survival schemes, raiding dreams like you don't care. Zombies crumbling on some bodies like a nightmare. Grabbing loot in the spawn might just fight there. And the goons shooting at me, yeah, we're out there. Keep the feet dry, light a fire if you're crazy. Survivors out there shooting, yeah, it's day. They try to take my loot, but I'm fast and I'm sneaky. Hearing footsteps in the woods, yeah, that's creepy. But I'm a wolf and all of you looking sheepy. Knock you one gone, now you feeling little sleepy. Waking up, your loot's gone, don't go crazy. Another day, another death, yeah, that's easy. Hear the bullets crack by your head, make you scream. Run, cover, keep your one eye on the bad guy and your friends. Watch for killers who shoot at you through a lens. But this is how the story always ends.